All right, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about GoGuardian, which is a program that lets you see what's going on your students' Chromebooks. You get reports on what happened on your students' Chromebooks and a few other things like chat. Um, and you're able to lock them up. It's my favorite favorite thing to do. So first off, there are two different GoGuardians. Do a search for GoGuardian Teacher, and that will take you to the appropriate spot. I'm going to click on Sign In. And you, of course, will have to create an account if you haven't already done that. You have to scroll through all of their terms of service. Um, and it's a very lengthy terms of service agreement, so keep on scrolling if you are kind of stuck at that point. So the first thing you're going to do, if you've never gotten in GoGuardian before, is click on Add a Classroom. I have a few classes already set up, and let's take a minute. If you have classes from last year, just archive those classes and then bring in your new Google Classrooms. So I'm going to click on Add a Classroom, and then don't fill any of this in. Just click on Add Google Classroom. All right, so let's go to Mr. Camacho demo. I'll pick that one up. All right, we're back, and I had to sync in my test student here. But yes, that is all you need to do to get your first class into GoGuardian. You'll have to do that a few times, and you should see your students down here below. I only have one student for right now, but you're going to have your whole classes if they're in your Google Classrooms already. So do that for your first period, second period, third period classes, etc. But yeah, once you have all of those classes enrolled, we can go to the settings tab. Actually, let's just go to the settings tab right now before you import your other classes. Let's add a subject. I'm going to choose math. You can choose your own subject. You don't have to do a description, and you don't do a scene yet. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm going to click on scheduling, and let's click on add schedule. And if this is my first period class and I have them from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then I can add that schedule. Now, if you can also, if you don't have a cookie cutter schedule, if your Wednesdays are different, you can edit those at this time. But so yeah, we have already pulled in our classroom and we have set a schedule. So that's about it for importing things. The next up we want to talk about is scenes. The thing we want to talk about is scenes. Obviously, I use No Cool Math quite a bit, but we're just going to recreate it for the video. So click on Add Scene, and let's call it No Cool Math. Right below here is where you're going to be listing the websites that you want to block. So I want to block coolmath.com and coolmathgames.com. Make sure you have the correct URLs or you're wasting your time here. You can do other things at this scene by, let's talk about limiting tabs. So I would not do 1 or 2 tabs. That's not going to be effective. If you do want to limit the number of tabs your students have, stick with 3, 4, or more. All right, the 1 and 2 is not very effective. And you can also have students automatically open tabs. So for instance, if you wanted them to go to classroom.google.com and that tab open every time they come to your classroom, you could do that by typing that tab here or that URL right here, and you can open up more than one by just keeping on adding more URLs. So let's save our scene. Let's name this Cool Math 3. Save scene. So now that we have that, I can go back into my classrooms and go to Mr. Camacho Demo and click on Settings. And now every time my class comes to see me, they're going to be blocked from Cool Math Games. So select your scene under default scenes. Don't forget to update. Oh, forgot to click on a subject. Now update. And everything should be good. So let's start up a session with this class. You won't have to do this all the time by clicking on start session. After your schedule has been set, it'll automatically do that for you every day, but I'm going to initiate a session right here. You can do that for a few different time periods, or you can select a custom time, but we'll just go with the 45-minute and start that session. So now I see one student. If you guys have 20 or 30 students, you will see all of the things that are going on their Chromebooks. But let's see what's happening on this student's Chromebook. He was in Google Classroom. So yes, that's what his Chromebook looks like right now. He may have 3 different tabs open. So let's look at those. You could actually, you can't look at the other tabs, but you can see what is going on. All right, here he has a new tab and an extension that has opened up. And he's about to go to, how about Yahoo? Apparently he's restricted from Yahoo. How about Drive? So now you should see in a second that he is going to Google Drive. It takes a second for these things to sync up. But yeah, there is his Google Drive. So let's just say he was on a questionable website that you did not want him to be on. You can click on the Lock Device button and come see me. You can type that in as a message and lock up your student's Chromebook. So now I'm looking at my Chromebook now. It says browsing disabled, and I'm not able to do anything. There it goes. So now browsing is disabled. They get the little message. It's probably hard for y'all to read, but they can see, come see me. Now, a lot of times people get trapped into or sucked into staring at all their computer screens all day long. Well, y'all don't have time to do that. Let's click over here on screens. All right. And let's look at timeline. I can see what my students have been doing right here. And you'll have all the list of 20 or 30 kids, however many kids you have. See how much time I have here. Ooh, about a minute. Yeah, so don't walk around, or don't just sit there and stare behind your desktop at all of your student screens. Don't worry about it. You can come up here to timeline and get to or take advantage of that and see what they have been doing while you are walking around and facilitating and teaching and doing what y'all do. The last thing I want to talk about is enable chat. This is a great function for your students that don't raise their hand and don't want to commit to asking questions out loud. So they can click on their button on their Chromebook and chat directly back and forth with you without anybody listening into it. Don't worry, they can't chat with each other. This is a one-way highway from the student to the teacher or the teacher to the student. So that is the chat function. And that's about it. I will, hopefully y'all let us know.